have lecture for my granddaughter to dance tonight, because I said I know we're gonna run long, like past 7:30, maybe not, but she's got dance at 7:45, so I'm like drilling him. He's taken her one other time, like, you remember where it was, and he just looks at me like, you know, like deer in the headlights. I get that it's only been one time, but still, you know, that NIPSCO substation north of town, still has the deer in the headlights. So yes, hopefully she gets there. Yeah. Oh, I forgot we had to do all that. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah, everything's just gonna stay the same, I think.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Welcome to our first meeting of the year on Decade. And I apologize, I did not have my mic on. So again, welcome to the meeting. We're going to go through, we have a couple of agenda items. As this is the first meeting, we get to elect officers for the coming year. And one of them is going to be elected in abstention, I think.
I was gonna say, I'm gonna make a motion that officers stay the same for the 2020 year.
So moved.
Second.
No one
We knew
wants
that
this
was
job, by the way. I just thought I'd pass that on. Congratulations, Rick. I'm glad you're enjoying the weather. He's not with us tonight, but he's the vice president. Thank you all. I accept, and we'll move forward. Meeting schedule approval for 2020. Any objections or problems with that?
Not really.
I assume we can just accept that.
Do you need a motion on that?
Tammy, that we're accepting it, we want a
I'll make a
motion?
motion that we accept the meetings as published here to us.
Second.
Second by Jeff, all in favor?
Aye.
That passes. Minutes,
I've read the minutes, and I would approve them as submitted.
so moved.
Second.
Seconded by Jeff, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, we are completed with the business. We'll start with this evening's unfinished business, which is, our first item is 0101-2020 case number. Randy and Jesse Sloan are the petitioners.
And one thing I did want to point out at the top, the address on the letter was 511, it's actually 513, and there's a parcel number in between the time the application was filed and when we reviewed it again, the actual address of the property had been taken off. So
there is
I just
no
wanted to point that out.
513
Yeah, there's actually no 513, but all the letters went out to the proper people, so it was reviewed and people understood which property we were referring to.
Okay.
So. just wanted to
Comments,
point that out.
Justin?
Yes. So the petitioner has requested a variance to allow an accessory structure to be located within an R3 zoning district without a primary structure. The proposed structure would be a pole barn style building for personal storage on a parcel that has been vacant for a number of years. The petitioner currently owns the parcel to the east of the proposed site. However, the lots cannot be combined because they are bisected with an alley. If approved, the petitioner's structure would be restricted to an 18-foot height maximum. It is the opinion of the planning department that this property does present some unique challenges because of its location. We feel that the variance request should be approved if the concerns of the neighbors are met and there are stipulations in place to help preserve some of the residential character of the area. The exterior materials should be compatible with the residential structures in the neighborhood, and the setbacks should be made to conform with the housing, the adjacent primary structures that are in the neighborhood as well. So with that, I'll open it up to any questions.
One that I have, was there any building on this property or this location before?
It's been vacant, and maybe the petitioner would be able to answer that more accurately. There was definitely a commercial property on the site, I believe, a number of years ago, but it's been vacant since the 90s at least, possibly longer. So,
Very good. Any other questions for Justin?
Clarify, who owns the lot?
So the petitioner owns the lot.
Yeah, but where do they live?
They live directly to the east of it.
To the
So there-
east.
There's an alleyway
Okay,
and
yeah.
there are properties
All
there.
Then I got
As I understand it, the problem is that there's an alley
it, yeah.
in between the two properties. Okay. Thank you, Justin. Any other questions? All right, we'll open it up to the public. Is there anyone who would like to speak in favor of this petition? I assume there would be. And when you approach, please try to use the mic for us deaf guys in the front, and tell us who you are for the
Okay,
press.
I'm Randy Sloan, my wife Jessie. If I think I said 18, if possible, I'd like to go 20. I'm gonna build it pretty much the same as what I already got, except 6 foot more each way. And what I got now is, I think, close to 20, I think. I want to put a loft in it if I could.
Yeah, you just need a variance for 20.
Yeah.
Then
Which we
would be,
don't
that would
have.
be a separate meeting.
Yeah, we don't have that in front of us tonight,
Okay.
sir, so. Okay, and the other issues, I think we're trying to meet what the neighborhood, to match the neighborhood. I think that's the real criteria that we put on this, is that correct?
That was the planning department's recommendation, was to, for you to add that requirement to,
So any motion in favor of it would include a stipulation?
you would have to make that motion.
Yes.
Yeah,
As a
we
board.
want that in place.
I was gonna say, because when I see, up in your analysis, you have pole barn style, but down in your recommendation, you're talking about materials compatible, exterior materials and conforming with the neighborhood. I think more vinyl siding.
Yeah, so then,
Am I?
Residential.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the analysis was based on the petitioner's comments, so, that was, their intention was to build a pole barn. Then under our recommendation, we kind of deviated from that, so.
Okay, so as the Sloans, do you guys understand that we're going to put that stipulation on if it's approved? That it'll look,
Understand it.
The one that fixes with it, one of those is the neighbor, the way buildings and stuff are built in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Yes,
you understand, so we're good with that. Okay,
Yeah.
well,
And there could be, and you guys could discuss this later, but there could be like windows or things like that, just to make it more residential appearing, so.
Yeah.
okay. Any other points or questions for the Sloans? Thank you.
Yeah.
You could step down. Is there anyone else to speak in favor? Anyone who has opposition to this petition? I'll take that as a no. We'll close it to the public. With that,
Well,
Any other-
and I know Jeremy also says in here too about roofing material. I'd like to see the vinyl siding because I do think it conforms more with the neighborhood and therefore shingle exterior, but I'm not opposed to a metal roof, but
actually, there's a couple of metal roofs not too far from
I
you.
know, yeah.
And they look pretty nice.
They really do.
If they're done right.
Right,
look
they really
pretty
do.
nice.
I just I just have a problem doing like a real pole barn style.
Right, no, we want,
Yeah,
I think we need to stipulate windows and doors if we can. It's up to Scott.
Well, one thing I'd want to make sure that we acknowledge as the board is, we did receive 2 comments that are in your pack, but for the record, there was a comment that we received from a Phil and Martha Platt in opposition to allowing a structure without a primary structure. You guys have that email in your packet. And then we received a call-in from Wilma Foley, 610 West Market, who wanted to express the opinion that she stated she would ask that you vote no, and it was based upon the reasons that were in the letter that you have in your packet there as well.
Well, as it's a public meeting, I think the reasons, as I recall, was because of the prior structure. Is that correct?
So, one, I think, was more based on the aesthetics, and then the other one was based on the idea that a site was contaminated, which doesn't really come into play with your decision. You can, if I had the letter, but one is, I think, more more valid to what you would be considering as far as,
Right.
Well, I don't think the potential chemical situation is within our province at all, so,
No.
yeah, exactly.
No.
unless I'm
So
wrong
any-
about that.
No, you're correct.
All right, and then the other one is to maintain the residential appearance, which if we stipulate accordingly, that should be met. Is that your opinion as well?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, very good.
And
With
and I
that-
did drive by this site, I'm sure you guys
Yes.
did too, but
Yeah, I saw
their
it.
existing property is nice and neat and clean, and I'm basing the fact that it's very well maintained. Therefore, I'm basing my judgment too, that they'll maintain that exterior building
Okay.
in the same way.
Well, I'm just, for the record, we have looked at both letters that were submitted,
Right.
and we've addressed them accordingly.
Right.
Okay, very good. All right, with that, do we have a motion then?
I'm gonna make a motion, we approve case number 2020-0101.
With stipulations?
Yes,
Do we need to state those
I
again,
want
or?
to make sure that
Yeah,
those
I'd be clear that-
stipulations are in place.
Yes.
Stipulations need to be in place.
Yes.
And I think
vinyl siding, windows.
Hopefully steel doors. Yeah, like residential quality,
Yeah.
steel door.
Well, I'd caution against the hopefully. It's either how you want it or how you don't.
I want it.
So you're here to approve what the conditions are going to be, so you can state those as what your conditions are approving this variance.
Seal doors? Anything else? Roof?
And
I'm impartial to the roof.
Justin, you will make sure that the guidelines for the building will be in
Correct.
compliance.
They'll have to submit a building permit, so at that time we'll review it and the setback should be part of your stipulation as well. So that was another, yeah.
And I'll second that.
All right, we have a motion and seconded. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any of opposition? Okay, that will pass as motioned. Next on the agenda is 0102-2020-2271 North Detroit Street, variance from development standards, Timber Rock Construction. Justin, can you give us the,
Yes, the petitioner has requested a variance to allow an accessory structure to be located closer to the rear property line than permitted in an I-2 zoning district. The proposed accessory structure would be located 15 feet from the rear property line instead of the 25 feet as required by the ordinance. The petitioner's property has floodplain and wetland delineations, which make it difficult to place new structures. It is the opinion of the planning department that this variance should be approved as presented. There are challenges that exist related to floodplains and wetlands that make additional development difficult. There are currently 4 other zoning districts that allow setbacks 15 feet or less for rear property setbacks. Although there are good reasons to maintain setbacks as outlined in the ordinance, a 10-foot deviation from the standard rear setback in this case will not have a detrimental impact on the character, value, or use of adjacent properties. There was one letter submitted with this case. The person came in, and I just wanted to kind of make it clear what their intention was for that letter. They own the property to the west, the southwest of this property, so they just didn't want, they wanted the building farthest to the north. They were fine with that setback, but as it went down to closer to their property line, they didn't want those other 2 buildings to shift over. Now, the petitioner hasn't requested that, but they just wanted to make sure that wasn't on the table. So I just wanted to.
and
kind of-
it's not because it's not being requested, correct?
Yeah, it's not being requested, so their
It's
letter is
actually
just to reiterate, they don't want them to get closer near their property line, but they're fine with the building
But
that they did
that has
request.
nothing to do with tonight's application, correct?
Correct, I mean, we just want to make sure, if we change that rear setback, it technically would apply to all the buildings, so we just want to make sure we're specific when we make the motion that it's only for the building on
Okay,
the
so in
plan, or
that
the
case,
plan
we
is
have to
shown.
stipulate with
Correct.
that in the
Right.
motion.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay, that's what I wanted to clarify, wasn't sure. All right, any questions prior to opening? Very good, all right, I assume you're set and ready to go to speak in favor of?
Yeah, Tyler Miller with Timber Rock Construction, representing the owner.
Okay,
Nothing really else to add other than
okay, and you did understand the stipulation, I think,
just for building C.
well, for building C, but if the setback carries over, correct? You could do the other two buildings closer, is that correct?
No,
I think that's
that's-
what you said.
No,
No,
Well, that's what I
Well, I
wanted to
mean-
make sure we're stipulating properly.
If you just voted to change the setback, without stipulating the building, I mean, I guess they would just be approving the plan as presented, you know, so that's one way to do it, so.
Okay, plan as presented, which would not allow what the letter was dealing with.
Correct,
Okay,
correct.
that's all I wanted to make sure. We're being recorded, so I want to make sure we're doing this right. With that, okay, sir, any questions for the petitioner? You understand the stipulations?
Yep.
You're happy with that and comfortable? Very
Yep.
good. Thank you, sir, you may step down, we'll close.
what's the floor gonna be in these buildings?
Concrete.
Okay.
Thank you. Anyone in the audience who would like to speak against this petition? Closed to the public. Any other comments or questions?
So I'd just like to remind the four of you that for these developmental standards, the three things you have to find is that it's not going to be injurious to the public health, safety, morals, or general welfare of the community. Make a written finding of that. I think that's fairly easy to be done. That the use and value of the adjacent property included in the variance will not be affected in a substantially adverse manner. And that strict application of the terms of the zoning ordinance would result in practical difficulties in the use of the property. I think Jason did a good job of pointing out the wetland area makes it difficult on that specific property that it would, given the wetland that is there, that there would be practical difficulties in the flood zone in the use of the property if you did not allow that variance. So I just wanted that to be included in your findings,
Any
But it
discussion?
is-
if you chose to do so.
It is allowable to fill that in, that low part, right, Justin?
Yes, it's been reviewed, by the
Okay.
city engineer, and,
Okay.
yeah, they're permitted to do that.
Okay, that's good.
you know, that's gonna be in the water.
Yeah.
All right, I think we can wrap this up. Is there a motion, Penny?
Make a motion, we approve this.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
That carries unanimously as well. Anything in the new business that's not covered?
That's it for today.
I'll make
Any
a
other
motion to
matters?
adjourn.
Do we have a motion to
I
adjourn?
just made that motion, I'm
And we
sorry.
got a second from Dan, I can tell by the
Rick.
laughter. All those in favor of adjournment?
I
We stand in adjournment. Thank you.
agree. Good job. Wow. Agreed to disagree. We agreed to agree. Wow. Thanks, Kim. Where's your box? Your recycling box.